Paul Romanuk along with Gary Green from the Typhoon Arena in Turku, Finland. And there's the man who will be feeling a lot of pressure in the next couple of hours. Sean Burke starting for Team Canada. His save percentage, 93.33% in this tournament. He has the second best goals against average at 2.34. That's second best in the tournament. Andrei Trefilov will start this game for the Soviet Union. He has a 2.78 goals against average in 7 games that he's played. He did not play the round-robin game against Canada. That was Alexei Miranin who played in that 5-3 Soviet victory.
Paul, it's going to be an interesting game, simply because Canada has shown in this tournament that they can be good defensively. They are, in fact, second best overall in the tournament defensively. Yet, the Soviet Union have been playing incredibly offensively. In the overall tournament, shouldn't surprise you, they are #1 in power play, #1 offensively. They've got 4 skaters in the top 8 scorers and 7 in the top 20. Viktor Tikhonov wouldn't have lost too much sleep in preparation for this game tonight.
Well, the last time Team Canada beat any Soviet team for a gold medal, Dave King was the coach. It was at the Izvestia tournament in December of 1987, December 21st to be precise. Canada won 3-2, and if omens mean anything, Sean Burke was in net for that game for Team Canada. Cliff Ronning, who was also on this team, set up the game-winning goal scored by Ken Barry.
And Dave King makes no bones about it. Sean Burke has got to play a great game today if Canada are going to beat the Soviets. And watch how this team plays right off the bat. They're going to try and play a very aggressive forechecking game. A little different than what we might have thought.
R.Kурtnolll and Rob Blake are here, and the Soviets come in with the first chance of the game. Puck ripped in there by Valery Kamensky, and Burke kicked it away. Doug Lidster trying to move it up along the boards for Team Canada. Knocked in by Thomas. He'll move up to forecheck. Canada tying its first game in the medal round against the Swedes 3-3. Sweden beating the U.S. 8-4 earlier this afternoon. So Sweden temporarily in first place. Kamensky trying to get to the outside. Pavel Bure overskating it in back of the net. Kamensky knocks it loose to Bure. Shoots! Burke the save. Rebound. Fired just wide of the net by Bykov.
You can't let one of the best scorers in this whole tournament, Pavel Bure, get an opportunity like that, not early in the game, right down the middle.
Vyacheslav Fetisov deep back in his own end. Team Canada making changes on the go early. Cliff Ronning up there to forecheck along with Trevor Linden. Nemchinov can't handle it. Ronning sends it back. Р.Куртнолл was open on the left wing. Knocked down, however. Fetisov moving it up. Makarov shoots. Burke to save, rebound, and he is going to hang on to it. And we'll get a face-off, the first stoppage of the game, and the draw coming down in Team Canada territory.
A lot of people were speculating that because Canada has played well defensively, that they might just lay back today, play a sound defensive game, and wait for their opportunities to occur. But Dave King felt that the way that his NHL players especially were going to play their best is if he could get a lot of momentum going early, and that meant getting your skating legs, doing some dumping and chasing, and taking the body.
Kravchuk moving it up. In comes Lomack, and he is hauled down. And the first penalty of the game coming up against Team Canada. Canada taking fewer penalties than any other team in this tournament. But they get caught here by the referee, Don Adam. The referee, by the way, from the U.S. The linesmen are Swedish.
And I might note part of the game plan for Dave King was trying to stay out of the penalty box. Something they've been pretty successful at, though, in this whole tournament. They won the Fair Play Cup. Not a trophy that they came aiming for, but one that they have received.
Team Canada's penalty killing is the best in the tournament, 91.55% efficiency. And the Soviet power play, hardly surprising that it is ranked #1, 20.54%.
Well, if you haven't joined us for games in this tournament so far, watch the way that Canada will play killing this penalty. They will play a very small discipline box in front of Sean Burke, trying to take the middle of the ice away and yet giving the Soviets the opportunity from bad angles.
Semak, Lomack, and Nemchinov up front for the Soviets. Nemchinov into the corner for Semak. Semak.
There they go. They give them the outside, trying to take the middle shot.
Kravchuk tried to punch it through. Ricochets off a stick. Kravchuk moving up after it. Trying to look towards the front of the net. Semak after it, up for Lomakin. Lomakin, number 19, looking in front. He's got Nemchinov and Semak to go to. Gets it all the way across to Semak. Back out towards the line, tipped by Steve Bozek. Gets it down the ice with 1:15 to go on the power play for the Soviets, and Bozek very aggressive up there.
Trying to pressure the puck offensively. Well, yep, they're killing this penalty off when they can see some daylight.
1 minute to go on the power play for the Soviets. Semak hits the line. Lomakin after it into the corner. He is pounded in there along the board. Steve Conroy had him lined up. Theron Fleury back out. Up there with Larmer. .45 seconds left in the power play for the Soviets, and Steve Conroy dumps it down the ice.
Paul, I expect we'll see more body checks thrown by Team Canada in this game today than they may have thrown in the whole tournament so far.
Offside called on the Soviets. Vyacheslav Kozlov was a couple of steps ahead in the right wing.
When they get their opportunities, Canada will try to put pressure on the puck and take the body as well. They feel it's one way of getting the Soviets off their game. Nothing new necessarily, but something that Canada hasn't done very well. The Soviets are great at handling that puck. You give them more opportunity, you give them that confidence that they have so much of, and you just play right into their hand.
In 8 games in the tournament, including the game in the medal round, the Soviets with all wins save for once when they tied. And that was a tie against the Swedes, 5-5. Burke kicks it away. Rebound in front is cleared. Shamnov was jamming for an opportunity right down in front. Vyacheslav Kozlov, this man set him up.
Kozlov is only 18 years of age. He plays for Kimmich. He's Detroit's second-round draft pick in '90. He had a couple of world championships under his belt. But the younger players from the Soviet Union aren't about to be leaving their country, not before the Olympics.
Keep an eye on Kozlov, who remains out there. He's been compared favorably to one of the great Soviet forwards of all time, Valery Harlamov. Has tremendous puck skills. 10 seconds left in the power play for the Big Red Machine. 0-0 so far. Early in this first period, we played just over 3.5 minutes. Team Canada and the Soviet Union. Shamnov down into the corner, trying to get it back for Kozlov. It's bounced out. And there is Р.Куртнолл up there for his first shift, moving it up ahead to Murray Craven. Rob Blake comes over the boards as well for Team Canada. So the two newcomers right into the fray. Kasatonov clearing it in. Burke leaving it back of the net. Blake up to Makoun. Makoun had a couple of goals in the last game. Here's Р.Куртнолл trying to beat Biakin. Wutsev picks it up, waits for the reinforcements to come up. Here's Р.Куртнолll back out with Sacking. Courtnall trying to get it out there for Craven, but that is broken up. Otelnov moving it up. Lomakin swinging through center. Wutsev going for the net. Courtnall trying to pick it up along the boards. Makoun is in there too, bumping his man. A delayed penalty coming up, and it is going to go against the Soviets. And Team Canada will get its first chance of the hockey game on the power play. And let's just wait, because obviously a severe cut on Jeff Courtnall. Now in the NHL, of course, it's 5 minutes. But in international hockey, the rules not the same. Zelepukin heading to the box.
5-minute major.
And he does. Don Adam, the USA referee in charge of this game today, has just given Zelepukin a 5-minute major. What an advantage for Team Canada right now.
So Team Canada with the 5-minute power play.
Dave King liked the assignment of Don Adam to this game today because he felt it was in their best interest. They felt they could play a more physical game, could do some more dumping and chasing, play a more NHL-style game, and they might have a better opportunity to do that with Don Adam, the U.S. referee.
The difference in international hockey, Gary, is that you do not get a game misconduct to go with your 5-minute major for drawing blood. Cliff Ronning. Jamie Macoun. Here comes Ronning. Darts in there. Ronning shoots. Kamensky right there. Make sure that it gets down the ice with 4 minutes and 23 seconds to go in the power play for Team Canada. 0-0. We played 5 minutes and 20 seconds. And there's Zelepukin in the penalty box. Icing called on Team Canada.
Viktor Tikhonov put his team through one long practice yesterday. Most of the other teams in the medal round had pretty short practices, and this man, Fettisov, didn't seem to be too pleased when he came back from practice yesterday. I was standing outside their dressing room waiting for them to arrive from Turku 2, which is a small practice rink. Here the teams playing in the medal round on off days are using.
Р.Куртнолл breaks in. Fleury's up there too, but nothing much comes of this offensive foray either. 4 minutes left in the power play for Team Canada. A 5-minute man advantage as a result of a high-sticking major to Valeri Zelepukin. And so far, just a skate in the park for the Soviets. Rob Blake up to Yanni. Sackick along the boards, can't pick it up. Team Canada has yet to land a shot on goal in the game. The Soviets out shooting them 4-0.
Well, it was expected that Rob Blake would help their power play out from the point. He can skate, he can handle the puck, and he's got a good shot from the point. He had a good year in LA.
If he gets a chance to handle it at the point during this power play. 3 minutes and 10 seconds left in the 5-minute man advantage. Jamie Macoun. Up to Fleury. Picked up. Konstantinov bangs it back in.
Well, throughout this tournament, Canada has had problems on their power plays. We told you earlier, only 6th best out of 8 teams.
Larmer in there with Thomas. And again, broken up by the Soviets. Makarov biding some time. He is decked by Steve Thomas, and that will do it for the Team Canada power play.
That was just frustration on Thomas's part. Team Canada were having lots of difficulties on their power play. You know, Paul, the Soviets are so good at anticipation, and that's where they were breaking up Canada's opportunities in the offensive zone. That's the hit that earned Steve Thomas a trip to the penalty box.
It's an elbowing penalty, and it comes at 6:58. And just in case you're wondering, that little lion that you saw wander out onto your screen.
There goes Yari again.
The official team mascot, Yari the lion. And Yari not a very happy lion after the Finns didn't make the medal round.
No, he had the pout on pretty good.
Lion, of course, being the nickname for the Finnish national team. The press here call them the Lions. And thus the connection with this tournament being hosted by Finland. And speaking of Lions, Canada's offense, nothing to roar about so far. They've yet to land a shot on goal in the game. Р.Куртнолл up there, trying to dig it loose, battling in against the boards with Biakin. Teams at even strength for the next minute and 20 seconds. And then Canada will have a brief power play, the tail end of their 5-minute man advantage. Biakin, Konstantinov now. Biakin back towards the line, knocked back out, and fired back in by Gusarov. Here's Natras. Up to Courtnall. And that is Canada's first shot on goal of the hockey game.
They try a long shot, too, on Trefilov just to see if he was awake.
Kamensky right in there, loose in front, scores! Bykov, an and it's 1-0.
Well, Dave King instructed his team to make extra sure that they didn't let Kamensky loose. Well, Kamensky got loose, and unfortunately, Bykov was the man that did the damage. Kamensky got in around behind the defense, and then Bykov was left alone with the puck. He used his backhand. Sean Burke was down and out of the play.
That is Bykov's 4th goal of the tournament. He has 8 points. And Kamensky picks up the assist, and the Soviets pick up the 1-0 lead.
Bykov left the Soviet Union this past year and played in Fribourg in the Swiss Elite League and had a great season.
That was an even strength goal, by the way. The team's playing at even strength for the next 37 seconds, and then Team Canada will have about 40 seconds to go in the tail end of that 5-minute high-sticking major delivered out to Valery Zelepukin of the Soviet Union earlier in the hockey game. Canada did not land a shot on goal during their first section of the power play. Lomakin trying to bide some time, waiting for the help to come up. Nemchinov is up there. Lomakin drops it off. Nemchinov is parked in front. They can't get the puck to him, however. Here's Doug Lidster. Conroy. Craven tried to step around Kravchuk there. Knocked down. Kravchuk pokes it loose. Shoots. Burke to stop. Here comes Craven. And Trefilov warts off that rush.
Craven was in all alone. Just Craven and Trefilov. Look how far Trefilov came out to cut down the angle. He couldn't control the rebound initially, but then had to scramble to get it back into his possession, but there was no Team Canada member even close for the rebound. Craven had received the long pass and was just too far ahead of everybody.
Was just going to say, on that first high-angle replay you saw, you could see there was nobody from Team Canada going to the net looking for the rebound. Contrast that with the first Soviet goal, where there were 2 players coming in looking for the rebound. Bykov picked it up and buried it in the open net. Team Canada with the man advantage for 26 seconds. Here's R.Kурtnolл. His brother Jeff Kуртнолл up there with him. First time they've ever played on a line together. Joe Sacik going after it. 10 seconds left in the power play for Canada.
Now, if R.Kурtnolll is rested, and I don't know how he could be, not after that long playoff series that he experienced against the Boston Bruins, and then the long flight over here, he can really help Team Canada out because of his great speed. If he goes wide, and lots of room to do that in this rink.
Penalized player back on. The team's at even strength. Zhamnov at the blue line. Now at the Canadian blue line. Zelepukin the trailer, but offside is called, and a Soviet player down on the ice behind the play. We'll fill you in on this when we come back. That was Alexei Zhamnov of the Soviet Union, and he got his bell rung by one of the Kуртнолл brothers at the Soviet blue line. He's back in the bench, none the worse for wear.
Jeff Kуртнолll hit him hard, and it took him a long time before he got up. Zhamnov was very slow to go to the bench.
Kvartalnov moves it across. Played 10 minutes and 19 seconds, 1-0. The Soviets leading. Bykov scoring at 8:13 from Kamensky. Malahov into a sea of red, and Schlegel sends it back in for Team Canada. Biakin. Yanni keeps it in. Archibald up there to forecheck. And Zelepukin just stepped out of the way.
Canada were now trying to get some of their original game plan going.
Zelepukin. Kvartalnov is checked, and Archibald sends it back out for Team Canada. Dave King making some changes on the go.
And quick changes. He wants them to take about 45 to 60-second shifts, skate hard, hit hard, and get off. They've got a big bench here. 22 players you're allowed to dress in international play.
Canada being outshot 6-2 and trailing 1-0. One shot on goal coming from well outside the line. Kamensky dropping it back. Bykov couldn't get the shot away. The other shot was a breakaway by Murray Craven. Kamensky again, chopped by Fleury. Bure trying to check Fleury. He is picked by Doug Lidster. Opens some ice up. Fleury in over the blue line. Now it's knocked back out. Here comes Kamensky. Bure trailing. Bykov rifles one.
Always have got that trailer, the Soviets, when they enter the zone. You take the first man, you better have someone ready to take the second man as well.
Steve Conroy up for Fleury. Pass was in his skates. Pavel Bure. And now the Soviets and Team Canada making wholesale changes. Lidster. Thomas checked at the line. Bure picked off by Linden. Can't get much on the shot there. He was being checked by Mironov. Lomakin. Lomakin gets it in deep. Nemchinov back of the net, centers it in front. Semak took a swipe at it, but it's knocked away. Here comes Cliff Ronning, and doesn't have the wheels to get outside on Lomakin.
Nemchinov has shown that he's a pretty good offensive player, yet he's supposed to be a great checker. Roger Nielsen from the New York Rangers has been here watching him. He's expected to play with the Rangers next year.
Yeah, likely will be with them next season. We played 13 minutes and 19 seconds of the first period. The Soviets leading Canada 1-0. Medal round action at the 1991 World Hockey Championship. Canada tying its first game of the medal round against the Swedes. And the Soviets beat the U.S. in their opening game. Joe Sackick gets it in front, but it's quickly cleared out of harm's way by Makarov. Canada keep it on. Р.Куртнолл right one just wide. Here's Craven. Rob Blake getting it back in for Team Canada. Zhamnov. Picked out by Bozak. Р.Куртнолл. Trefilov hangs onto it. Р.Куртнолл with a couple of good chances on this shift. That line working well for Team Canada.
Р.Куртнолll had a great season this year for the Montreal Canadiens. Ended up with 26 goals, 50 assists in the regular 80-game season, and then had a good playoffs as well. 8 goals, 3 assists. So Р.Куртнолll was a welcomed addition to Team Canada, but he might be a little bit tired.
Steve Conroy, who has been one of the steadiest defensemen for Team Canada in this tournament, keeping the puck in. Randy Smith after it. Bozak up there, bumping with Malahov. Biakin trying to sidestep Randy Smith. Smith with a bit of a reach advantage, but got tied up. Rob Blake pinching in from the blue line. Slides it in front. Smith can't get the shot on goal. Soviets just throw that puck around so well. Vartanov trying to get outside on Blake. Here comes Smith back. Butseyev stopped once, stopped twice. Back of the net. Lomakin trying to get loose. Wraps it around. Zelepukin with a chance. Gusarov at the line. Works it down into the corner. Conroy just hustling to get there. Rings it up around the boards. And Bozak makes sure that it gets out. Dave King making some changes on the go.
Watch Canada in the neutral zone. They'll line up pretty well along the blue line when the Soviets have an opportunity to set up coming out of their own end zone. But where Canada get caught shorthanded is when they end up in a transition game. The Soviets are so quick at turnovers.
Steve Thomas crisscrossing with Fleury. Lidster can't get his man. Bykov. Draws lots of attention, and the attention from Steve Larmer was a little too intense in the view of referee Don Adam, so Larmer will head to the penalty box. Larmer off for hooking at 15:53.
Larmer wasn't happy with that call, and he let Don Adam know that. He felt that Bykov, after being tugged at, took a pretty good dive.
So the Soviets with the best power play in the tournament, set to go to work. Bure, given a slash and a hack there by Trevor Linden. Kamensky chops it back to the line. Kamensky. Right in front, Bure was there. Sean Burke able to kick it away.
Before Team Canada will pressure the puck in their own zone, killing off this penalty, they'll want to make about 80% sure that they can get to the puck first.
Steve Bozak trying to beat Fettisov, and content instead just to beat the clock a little and kill off some time. Schlegel will dish it off down to the Soviet blue line with 1 minute left in the power play for the Soviets. They lead 1-0. Bykov scoring the goal at 8:13. Malahov. Good shot fired in by Kasatonov, and Sean Burke containing the rebound. We'll get a face-off down in Team Canada territory with 41 seconds left in the power play.
And that's what will happen. As soon as you break that box, then they won't be afraid to shoot from the point anymore. Kasatonov especially knows that, hey, that's the way they do it in the National Hockey League. You get an opportunity to get someone in front of that net. Zamnov was there, then Kasatonov wasn't afraid to shoot the puck from the point. There was a day, however, Paul, that they would continue, the Soviets that is, to move that puck around until they could get a clear scoring opportunity from the slot.
You know a team more guilty of that than the tournament that I've watched? The Finns. An amazing penchant for working the puck around, waiting for that perfect opportunity. And some say it cost them getting into the medal round. Kozlov along the boards, trying to win it loose. He does that, but it comes outside the blue line. Konstantinov up ahead to Kasatonov. 20 seconds left in the power play for the Soviets. We played 17.5 minutes of this first period. Kozlov in offside. Kozlov has played in a couple of World Junior Championships. Again, another player with those great puck skills. Rookie of the Year in the Elite League of the Soviet Union in 89-90. Nothing elite about that play, though, as he was a couple of steps in offside. Ten seconds left in the power play. Kozlov wheels it up, hits the line, shoots just wide. Penalized player back on. The teams had even strength. About 2 minutes to go in the period. Look at Kozlov parked right in front. He was battling there with Makoun. He's got it now. Kozlov looking for Makarov. Throws it in front. Nobody's there. Here's Р.Куртнолл for Team Canada. To Ronning. Slips the check. Р.Куртнолл up after it. Thomas up there. Ronning. Here's Thomas. Ronning was in front. Here's Р.Куртнолл now. Just off the boards blindly, and Kozlov brings it out. Makarov. Lidster up ahead to Steve Conroy. And icing called on Team Canada with 1 minute and 11 seconds to play in this opening period.
No touch icing, so Dave King's team doesn't waste any time chasing pucks or energy. King was concerned about his team not using up too much energy. Now that sounds funny, doesn't it? I mean, you want your team to come out all pumped up, but he just said that with this big ice surface and in this tournament play, that you've got to be concerned about the amount of energy your team exerts. They've got to have enough gasoline in their tank left for the third period. They've kept it close in this first. They can chip away in the second.
Lidster with 1 minute to go in the period. Sending it in. Sackick, R.Kurtnolll, and Murray Craven go to work. This has been Canada's most effective line in the first period. Craven tried to get it in front. That's knocked away. That's not saying much. Canada's only had 3 shots on goal, but this line has generated 2 of the 3.
And that's too bad, because Trefilov has the abilities to give up some bad goals. That's one problem the Soviets have had. Murray Craven came in on Trefilov and was in all alone. Wasn't able to put the puck behind him. But Trefilov has gained the scorn of coach Viktor Tikhonov on more than a few occasions, simply because of bad goals that he's allowed in this tournament.
Although Trefilov has really come out of nowhere. He's 22 years old. Last year he was playing in the Soviet 3rd division. And then he saw some action in the NHL Soviet Super Series this past winter, and here he is at the World Championships, their #1 goalie.
Remember the goal that...
That one fired wide. R.Kurtnolll looking forward in front. 30 seconds left in the period.
I was going to say that Alexei Merinon let in on Theron Fleury from way out. Haven't seen him since.
Sackick in back of the net. Knocked down. Mironov can't get it out. Craven scores! Murray Craven ties it up.
Canada doesn't have to wait and worry about chipping away in the second period. They've been able to tie this hockey game up before this period has ended. Just 17 seconds remaining, and Murray Craven gets a second opportunity on Trefilov. The first on a breakaway, he doesn't score. This time, alone in front of the net. He did.
That is Craven's first goal and first point of the championship. And a big one.
And Canada are going to have the opportunity, Paul, to start the second period on a power play. Theron Fleury was tripped up. The Soviets, with Butseyev, will be heading to the penalty box.
So a very active last 30 seconds or so of the period for Team Canada. Murray Craven scores in 1943 from R.Kurtnolll. Vyacheslav Butseyev heading off.
And with 3 seconds left, I thought Sean Burke was going to stay out of the net when that face-off was down in deep. Sean Burke is still awaiting direction from Dave King. Dave King's not going to take any chances. 3 seconds is just enough time to win the draw and put the puck in the net.
Butseyev off for interference at 19:57. Everyone up for the draw. And everyone watching on the bench. Team Canada will start the second period with a power play for the first minute and 57 seconds, although being outshot in the opening period by a margin of 12-5. Team Canada and the Soviets tied at 1. Bykov scoring for the Soviets, Craven for Canada. Our first intermission is coming up with more. Here's Jim Van Horn.
What I can Gary Green, gentlemen.
So Team Canada opening this period with a man advantage for the first minute and 57 seconds. Maybe they can put some pressure on Andrei Trefilov, who only had to face 5 shots in the first period, although 3 of the 5 good scoring chances. Canada clicked on one of the scoring chances. Murray Craven had the 2 best chances of all. Breakaway, and then he was left all alone in front on the goal that he did score. Well, Canada having all kinds of problems in the power play, and again you see right there, looking disorganized.
Oh, they got caught napping, and you can bet that that was part of the Soviets' game plan coming out to start this second, to jump on Canada early, who have been having problems getting out of their own end zone on the power play.
Sackick up there after it, along to Larmer, and Larmer has his pocket picked. Bykov worked his way out. Gusarov sees the hole and just gets it down the ice. Rob Blake back to pick it up. He's got Vyacheslav Bykov right on him. Blake. Here comes J.Kуртнолл. Fleury's up there with him, so Sackick. Good job by Macowan to keep it in, keep this drive alive. Р.Куртнолл along the boards trying to get it loose to Макоун. Here's Макоун, shoots, loose in front, and Trefilov will cover it up long enough to get the whistle.
Trefilov took a whack at Theoren Fleury. He was upset that Fleury went right over top of him, of course looking for a loose puck that wasn't there. Good play by Jamie Macoun, who had a great offensive game against the Swedish team. Macoun was able to get that puck out from the corner and then came right out into the slot.
Jamie Macoun only had 7 goals all season, and the last couple of games of this tournament, he's looked like, what, a solid 40-goal man anyways, Gary.
Got lots of confidence out there right now.
Lidster moving it in. Lindon to Ronning. Back for Lindon. Into Ronning. Lots of traffic in front. Score!
There he goes again.
Jamie Macoun, just like that.
You can tell when a player is oozing with confidence. 34. The way that he jumps into the holes. A player that might ordinarily in a big ice surface in international play like Macoun maybe stay at home more, but against the Swedish team he scored a couple of goals. He moved in on the play, and this time, well, he didn't waste any time jumping up in the play one more time and has helped Canada out immensely.
That is Macoun's 3rd goal of the tournament. He scored 2 in the last game. Gets this one on the power play. The goal coming at 1:24, and Canada leads by a score of 2-1. Ronning and Lindon pick up the assists.
What Canada hasn't had is they haven't had a Paul Coffey type of gambling offensive defenseman. Macoun all of a sudden is looking like he's the nominated man.
Doug Risebrough, if you're watching, what about putting Macoun up on the wing? Here's Р.Куртнолл back of the net. Battles with Zhamnov, and the sticks go up along the boards. And Steve Thomas, who's already taken 1 penalty out of frustration in this game, looks like exactly that, a frustrated hockey player.
Well, Thomas and Kasatonov got their sticks up. And it's Kasatonov that's going to the penalty box, but along with Steve Thomas.
Offsetting minor penalties coming at 1:44. Canada leading 2-1. Jamie Macoun scoring on the power play at 1:24 from Ronning and Lindon. And there's Kasatonov off for roughing. Steve Thomas of Team Canada also in the penalty box. So the teams will remain at even strength.
Well, with his bigger ice surface and 4 skaters against 4 skaters, not a surprise that Dave King has got R.Kурtnolll out there, is it?
Here's Murray Craven. Gets it right in front of the net. It's gobbled up by Zhamnov, and he'll start the attack back. Biakin to Zhamnov. Steps in through traffic. Macoun breaks it up. Craven slaps it out. R.Kурtnolll to Craven. Just overskated it. Biakin. Zhamnov. Cuts right in front. Shoots. Burke the save. And the net comes off the pegs, and we get the stoppage.
The nets do not come off as easily as the nets do in the National Hockey League here. There's a double set of pegs on these nets, and so it takes a lot to get them off of their moorings. But yet, as has been shown in the National Hockey League, those nets have created this year a problem. Too many stoppages in play. The very few here, but there's a big difference, Paul. Not nearly as many players in international play jam the net as they do in the NHL.
The best net going that I've seen is a net they use in the Western Junior Hockey League called the Marsh net, and the pegs are flexible, and they're just flexible enough so that if you crash into the net, it'll break away, thus preventing injury, but they're stiff enough that the goalie can't kind of back into it and knock it off, as with the magnets. Fleury hit the side of the net. Biakin there to pick up the rebound.
Oh, and then the Soviets in their transition game tried for a quick breakout.
Yanni gets it in. Larmer up there after it. Fleury's up there. He's got it. Fleury. Zelepukin trying to pull away from Fleury. Gets it in front. Puck just fired high and wide by Vartulnov.
Vartulnov was looking for the quick break. He almost got it prior to that rush, and then was quick to jump on the 2-on-1.
What a great chance for Theron Fleury, though. He heads to the bench after a great shift. Team Canada with some spark. Fleury providing it on that occasion. Vartalnov comes back and play is called. It's J.Kуртнолл exchanging glares with Valeri Kamensky. And the two will also exchange penalty minutes.
Well, that's one way to keep an eye on Valeri Kamensky, as Dave King has asked his players playing against him to do. Take him to the penalty box. You know where he is for the next 2 minutes. Interesting when every Team Canada will get an opportunity, as Theron Fleury did, then the Soviets are so quick to react to that. They see an offensive chance like that, and they will use that quick breakout pattern right away, because they'll see Canada try to overload the chance and then go for the net, looking for rebounds.
Kурtnolll out for roughing, Kamensky for interference.
Can't help but see a smile on Pierre Paget's face when you talk about Valeri Kamensky, Eric Lindros, Sundin, Joe Sackick. He may have had some sleepless nights this past year, but better nights ahead.
If it looks like there's a lot of room out there right now, you're absolutely right. Both teams with a pair of offsetting minors. It's a 3-on-3 situation. Bykov up there after it for the Soviets. Beaten to the puck by Steve Conroy. Cliff Ronning. The other player out there for Team Canada is Doug Lidster. Here comes Ronning, and lots, and I mean lots, of room to use. Ronning hems himself in down in the corner. Lidster's up there, back to Ronning. Lidster goes for the front of the net. Here's Ronning, right in front, scores!
No, he didn't. Ronning thought for sure that puck was in. Now he was just tackled by the linesman. But that puck was underneath of Trefilov. I think Cliff Ronning got excited by the way that the fans reacted. They were sure that the puck went in, but hang on. Don Adam is checking just to make sure. Let's watch. Now that puck was in the crease, but you can see why it was confusing.
And there it is, right in the middle of your screen, going back and swept out of harm's way. And you see Lidster cruising back to glare at the goal judge. A couple of the offsetting minor penalties expiring. It is now a 4-on-4. And look out, Jamie Macoun's out there again.
That's right, that run and gun offensive defenseman.
Macoun's got it now. Here comes Linden. Couldn't get it in front around Mironov. Kravchuk. Semak is up there with him. He couldn't get it to him, however. Dave Archibald now for Team Canada. Played 4:25 of the second period. Canada leading 2-1. Archibald punches that one in. Here's Trevor Linden. Lomakin comes back. Up there with Semak. Semak shoots. And Sean Burke sliding across. Once again dislodges the net, and we get a stoppage. 30 seconds to go on the offsetting minor penalties to J.Kурtnolll of Team Canada and Valeri Kamensky of the Soviet Union.
Now, I don't want to be accusing here to Sean Burke, but it almost seems that he's found a way to take a little of the pressure off when his team may have been shorthanded coming into the zone.
Nah.
I think he lifted that net right off of its moorings.
Not a chance.
He knows how to push it off. He's had some experience before in international play and on these big ice surfaces. Sean Burke has played so well in this World Championships tournament.
He's a pretty heavy guy, though. It'd be like you backing into the post. I mean, probably jar it loose.
I think I might have a few pounds on him, Paul.
Kasatonov. Craven checks him. Played 5 minutes of the second period. Kasatonov. Steve Bozak there for Team Canada. Sacik working with him along the boards. Makarov now for the Soviets. Picked his way through the traffic. Makarov in deep. Had Kozlov breaking for the front of the net, but he couldn't get it to him. Penalized players back on. It's 5-on-5. Р.Куртнолл poked away. And a penalty coming up against the Soviet Union. Р.Куртнолл comes in on the breakaway and is pulled down. Played 5 minutes of the second period. Kasatonov. Steve Bozak there for Team Canada. Sacik working with him along the boards. Makarov now for the Soviets. Picked his way through the traffic. Makarov in deep. Had Kozlov breaking for the front of the net, but he couldn't get it to him. Penalized players back on. It's 5-on-5. Р.Куртнолл poked away. And a penalty coming up against the Soviet Union. Р.Куртнолл comes in on the breakaway and is pulled down. Canada.
So Valery Kamensky has taken a penalty after pulling Р.Куртнолл down, taking away maybe that scoring opportunity. That was a race out of the penalty box.
Here's Larmer. Blake to Makoun. Into Fleury. Sacik, the other forward out there for Team Canada. Makoun couldn't keep it in, and the penalty waved off. Butseyev trying to draw one as he wanted to break by Makoun. Minute 37 to go on the power play for Team Canada. Rob Blake up deep, bumping Fettisov. Here's Fleury. Over to Makoun. Shoots, that is blocked. Kravchuk down in front of it. Sacik up for Blake, who is sneaking in. Sacik and Blake along the boards. Blake to Makoun. Over for Fleury. Sacik. Larmer now. Here's Fleury. .51 seconds to go on the power play. Blake. Here's Sacik. Fleury in there. Sacik. Back for Fleury. Makoun on knuckleball, and that will end this bit of pressure by Team Canada. Biakin just gets it down the ice with 29 seconds left in the man advantage. Soviets will change.
Still a chance for one more good rush, though. Canada getting better on their power play as time goes on.
Team Canada changing as well, as did the Soviets. Here's Р.Куртнолл, dropped it back. Russ to Jeff, and it was broken up. Bykov.
They might be brothers, but they'll have to play with each other a little bit more often before Rush should try that move again.
Teams back at even strength. Kamensky out of the penalty box. Team Canada leading 2-1. We played 7.5 minutes of the second period. Russ Р.Куртнолл back for Jeff. Knocked down. Ronning up there too. Here's Kravchuk. Gets it out. Doug Lidster. Bykov scoring for the Soviets. Craven and Makoun for Team Canada. Kravchuk legging after it into the corner. Conroy gets there. Here's Pavel Bure. Kamensky shooting. Burke the save. Bykov after it. Linden's pass a little bit too far ahead of Murray Craven. Here comes Pavel Bure wheeling away. He's got Kamensky with him and Bykov. Here's Kamensky. Over to Bykov. Conroy watching him. Heavy traffic in front of Burke. And that is on the line. Team Canada arguing, and I didn't see the red light pop on.
We're still waiting.
27.
But yes, it's in. You could see from that angle, and maybe you'll get a better opportunity to see from this angle. Oh, that puck was clearly
easily
over the goal line.
And I'd love to know why the red light didn't go on. Kamensky gets the goal, his 6th of the tournament at 8:34. He had an assist on the earlier goal the Soviets scored in this game. His line mate Bykov scored the goal. 2-2 hockey game.
After taking a couple of penalties, Kamensky ends up scoring an important goal for the Soviets. A lot on this young hockey player's mind. Kamensky doesn't know what to do for years to come.
That is an unassisted goal. Kamensky's 6th of the tournament. Soviets 2nd of the game. We're tied at 2. And the Soviets going right back to work. And they will get a chance to further their offensive opportunities in this game as they go to work in the power play. Dave Archibald heading off at 8:48 of the second period.
Archibald pulled Lomakin down, and so this just puts Canada in some big trouble since the Soviets already have the momentum in their favor. Archibald with the hook. Lomakin went down. Don Adam sent Archibald off quickly. Face-off down deep in Canada's zone, and the Soviets are so good at winning face-offs.
Makoun trying to chop it loose there from Kozlov. Konstantinov. Zamnov back to Konstantinov. Punched in on goal by Kasatonov. A goal line stand. And that time the puck evidently does not make it across the line.
Face-offs are so critical. And yet the Soviets just continue to dominate in yet another area. They won that last draw, which set up this opportunity. They were able to keep the puck in. Jamie Makoun being very aggressive. Dave King's team is ranked 4th in this tournament on face-off abilities. The Soviets are by far the best.
Soviets winning almost 52% of their face-offs. Kasatonov back at the line, 1.5 minutes to go in the power play for the Soviets. A 2-2 hockey game. Zamnov parked in front. Konstantinov shoots. That pings off the side of the net. 1:15 to go in the power play. Here comes Kasatonov. He and Konstantinov get their signals crossed just a little. Steve Bozek up there. Actually, Steve Larmer up there forechecking for Team Canada. Bozek backing out to center. Konstantinov in over the blue line. Makarov. Larmer breaks it up. 48 seconds left in the power play. Kamensky back. Takes a hack from Fleury, but pulls away. Bure. Kasatonov. Bure unloading. Fleury gets there first, beats the speedy Soviet, then pulls him down. A penalty coming up against Team Canada. It is going to go against Theron Fleury. He pulled down Pavel Bure behind the play. Here's Bykov. That's tipped up over the glass and out of play. The Soviets will have a man advantage for 6 seconds. The O'Fleury's heading to the penalty box. 41.
He was given Pavel Bure a little warning that if you come and play for the Vancouver Canucks, we'll see each other a lot.
One penalized player back on, so it is a one-man advantage for the Soviets. 2-2 hockey game. 1:45 to go in their power play, but here's Archibald. Shoots! He was just out of the penalty box and right into the play.
Canada's been effective at that a couple of times. You remember when Р.Куртнолл came out of the penalty box, he had an opportunity on a quick break.
Pavel Bure to Kamensky. Back for Bure. Bykov in front, shoots just wide.
Oh, Bykov was heading for that top corner, wasn't he? Glove side.
Fettisov. Shooting. Here's Bure. Gusarov shoots. Rebound. And Team Canada gets it out. Archibald shoots. Here's Bure now. 51 seconds left in the power play for the Soviets. Bykov, Kamensky exploding for the net. Bure up there to Bykov. Can't get the shot away. Back in front. Fired just wide by Fettisov. That trailing defenseman sneaking up to join the attack. Here's Bozak. Gets it in front.
Macoun had headed to the players' bench. He needed a rest. Bozak was hoping that he'd be in the slot.
Semak gets it in. Lomakin. 19 seconds left in the power play. Semak back towards the line for Mironov, but knocked away. 10 seconds left for the Soviets. Lomakin gets it in. Burke, big stop. Score on the rebound.
Well, you give the Soviets those type of opportunities, especially second ones, and they'll take advantage of it. Sean Burke made the first save. He kicked it out, but when he kicked it out, he put it right to Semak. Semak should have been covered. He wasn't. Semak on his forehand side found an empty net available to him.
12:34 the time of the power play goal. Semak's fourth of the tournament. So it's 3-2 for the Soviets. Here's Sackick. R.Kурtnolll back there, knocked off the puck by Konstantinov. Zhemnov works his way out. Kasatonov. Kozlov in there, shooting, Burke to save. Rebound swept in back of the net. Here's Thomas, gives it away. Kasatonov with a shot. Kozlov. Bumped along the boards there by Conroy. Makarov. Buck just cleared in there by Natras. Now here's R.Kурtnolll around back of the net for Trevor Linden. He's got Ronning up there with him, and Natras back at the point. Here's Ronning now, trying to get it loose for Linden. Ronning. Macoun almost snuck it in. He is pistol hot offensively the last few periods. 3 goals for Team Canada. He scored a goal for them in this game. Trent Yanni for Team Canada. We played 14:22 of the second period. 3-2 the Soviets lead. Canada led 2-1 early in this second period. Jamie Macoun had put them up by a goal with a power play marker. Icing called in the Soviets. You are watching the World Hockey Championship live on TSN. Bure works his way in, couldn't deliver the payload that time. Steve Thomas back in his own end. 3-2 the Soviets lead. About 5 minutes to play in this second period. I'm Paul Romanek with Gary Green, Jim Van Horn, and Tom Watt back at our TSN Control Center. TSN's exclusive coverage of the 1991 World Hockey Championship continuing. And you can catch this game. It'll be rerun tonight at 12:30 a.m. I guess that's 12:30 a.m. tonight, technically. 12:30 a.m. tomorrow morning. That is, of course, Eastern Time. Bykov up for Kamensky, intercepted. Fleury. Nice pass to work it up. Larmer couldn't quite crash his way through the door. He was double teamed. Thomas up for Larmer. Here's Fleury now. Back to the line. Yanni drops it. Here's Fleury, shoots. That's blocked. Delayed penalty coming up with the Soviets. Sean Burke is headed to the bench. Team Canada with an extra attacker up there. Theron Fleury. Fleury still in front. Thomas couldn't get to it. Here's Larmer. Schlegel. Yanni shoots. And finally, play called. A holding penalty coming up against the Soviets. And Team Canada will go on the power play at the 15:40 mark of this second period.
That was a long delayed penalty. Canada with plenty of opportunities. Steve Larmer really got roughed over by Malahov in the corner. And that's what started Canada's offensive chances, though. While the delayed penalty existed, then Canada just controlled the puck. Theron Fleury really took charge out there. But you know, Steve Larmer almost got caught taking a penalty and evening it up because he was having a battle with Trefilov in front of the net. And then Larmer came to his senses.
I'll give you trivia buffs a minute to work on this. Vladimir Malahov, known as a tough player in the Soviet Union, he was involved in a very infamous incident against Team Canada. Here's Ronning, trying to get it out in front to Linden. Can work on that, trivia buffs. Trevor Linden trying to fight off Konstantinov. Ronning up there to help out. Makoun back for Linden. Ronning right in front. Just rolled past the blade of the stick of Courtnall. Semак with a foray deep, gets it in front of the net. Lomakin was pitching up there, but Linden leads the charge back for Canada. Courtnall. Here's Ronning. In front, Linden a shot. Knocked away by Trefilov. Here's Linden again. Up there with Jeff Courtnall. Courtnall tried to tip it, and Trefilov had a bead on it. He hangs on.
Canada's got to try and stay out of the penalty box right now. Both Courtnall and Kasatonov, though, are going to the box right now. And Trevor Linden just stepped in to have some words with Kasatonov. Even up is one thing. Canada don't want to be at a disadvantage. Still on the power play.
It'll be a 4-on-3 power play now for Team Canada. So go ahead, Gary, take your best stab at it.
I don't know. He's 22 years of age. Malahov, would he have been involved in that famous brawl with the World Juniors?
Not only was he involved in it, but he was one of the first couple of guys to drop his gloves and start scrapping in that infamous Piastani brawl, the World Junior Championships in 1987. He's in the penalty box right now with his teammate Alexei Kasatonov. Lidster shoots. Trefilov got the pad on it. Larmer after it, knocks it loose. Russ Courtnall pulled down by Fettisov. No penalty on the play. 43 seconds left on Canada's power play. 3 minutes left in the period. 3-2, the Soviets lead. Here comes Fleury. Offside called on Team Canada. Doug Lidster has been steady on the blue line for Team Canada.
He's been steady for the Vancouver Canucks for a number of years. 7 years now in the National Hockey League. Lidster's third World Championships. He led Vancouver defensemen in scoring this year. 6 goals, 32 assists.
Played in the '84 Olympics too, so he is a seasoned international player in terms of this Canadian team. Although Dave King, unlike many other coaches in this tournament, doesn't have the luxury of looking down his bench and seeing half a dozen guys or 11 guys who played in 3 or 4 World Championships.
Not much World Championship experience. Good example of that was the other day when Canada had to play Sweden. Sweden had close to 600 man games played in World Championship play. Canada closer to 200.
Yeah. Rob Blake up after it. Murray Craven in front. Thomas couldn't roll it to the backhand. Shamnov bumped out at center. 13 seconds left in the power play for Canada. Here comes Thomas. Craven goes for the net. Blake at the line, really battling there to keep it in, loses that battle. Power play has expired and the team's back at even strength. Makarov after it. Here comes Thomas. Stopped at the blue line. Gusarov back for the Soviets. Up there with Makarov. Craven gets a piece of him, enough to knock it loose. Here comes Thomas. And Trefilov will hang on. No one was there looking for the rebound. 1 minute 55 seconds to play in the second period. The Soviets leading Canada 3-2 in a game that Canada, for all intents and purposes, must win to hold out any hope of a gold medal.
Trefilov has been very careful with his rebounds today. He's been quick to jump on them, and of course, as mentioned earlier, with the Soviets' confidence in winning draws, he can afford to take those opportunities in his own end zone.
Lidster back to pick it up. Biakin up to forecheck. Biakin on the flyby. Couldn't come up with the puck. Here comes Ronning. Wutsev breaks it up. Zelepukin will just drop it off now for Mironov.
Zelepukin better get off the ice. He had a couple of rough stumbles there in that shift.
Get the skate blade checked over at the bench. Wutsev comes in. He's pulled down. And a penalty coming up to Steve Bozak of Team Canada. And a late period power play for the Soviet Union.
Well, the Soviets will always emphasize every opportunity they get that might be close to that of a penalty. Bozak just put his stick out. Soviets did the rest. Utsev went flying through the air with the greatest of ease. And Steve Bozak will just fly to the penalty box.
He is off for hooking.
And he'll be joined, of course, by Yari the Lion.
That's the tournament mascot you saw, the little cartoon character walking onto your screen a few moments ago. One minute to play in the second period. 1 minute and 50 seconds to go on the power play for the Soviets. They lead 3-2. Kasatonov. Here comes Kamensky. Kamensky, Bure, and Bykov, the big lion out there for the Soviets. Offside called.
Now Kamensky and Larmer having some words. Kamensky is so talented, yet Pierre Paget said that he's not playing his best hockey here. Just way too much on this young man's mind. Whether he's going to go to the National Hockey League next year, whether he's going to go to Lugano in the Swiss Elite League. The Soviets, of course, want him to stay.
He is easily right now the most talented Soviet player not playing abroad. Plays for the Red Army team. Here comes Pavel Bure. 30 seconds left in the period. Bure shoots! Kasatonov after it. 20 seconds left in the period. Kamensky. For Bure. 10 seconds left in the period. And that will do it. The Soviets will start the third period with a man advantage for the first 50 seconds.
And Theron Fleury had to end the second period by giving Gusarov a little chop.
Second intermission coming up. Team Canada trailing 3-2 after a couple of... So as is often the case, you can boil things down to one small element, and that one small element of this entire tournament for Team Canada could well be this third period. If Canada wins this third period and wins the game, they have a great shot at winning gold.
Well, they've got to kill this penalty to Steve Bozak off first of all, and there is only about a half a minute left in that.
Canada trailing 3-2, being outshot 18-10. And the Soviets in the dying seconds of a power play. 20 seconds to go in their man advantage. And here comes the rush. Kamensky gets to the outside looking for the trailer. Kamensky. Fettisov. Bykov. Back to Fettisov. 3 seconds left. Bykov. Fired in by Gusarov. Burke makes the save. The penalized player back on. The team's at even strength. And here comes Murray Craven. Shoots. Trefilov almost caught.
Not a bad idea to keep testing Trefilov every chance you get. Canada needs to shoot more in this third period.
Bure after it. Given a bump there by Thomas. Here's Bure again. Thomas chops at him again. Still working him over. Bure. Tremendous strength. Lomakin up there now. Bure goes after it. And Team Canada called for icing. We've played 1 minute and 33 seconds of this third period, and the Soviets are up 3-2.
You don't know when Viktor Tikhonov is going to finally retire as the head coach of the Soviet team. I think many of his players wish that it was tomorrow when he would retire, because they like Igor Dmitriev much better. I think Igor Dmitriev is much more capable of coaching these players in the 90s.
What I've heard here, here's Semак shooting. Just ripped it wide. Kravchuk couldn't keep it in. What I've heard here is that the upcoming Winter Olympic Games will be Tikhonov's swan song.
Well, it's tough to knock success, though, and Tikhonov has had all of success.
Far and away the most successful international coach.
But yet he's got a lot of unhockey hockey players.
Vartanov up to the line. Lomakin up there too. Nemchinov back of the net. Trying to crack it loose. Here comes Theo Fleury away for Canada. Up to Thomas. Tried to get it ahead to Larmer. Broken up at the line. Semак. Trying to work it loose for Lomakin, but he was tied up. Larmer up for Fleury. Pulled down by Semak. No penalty call. Referee Don Adam waving it off as Fleury looked over in the appeal. The puck going up into the meshing behind Sean Burke, and we get a stoppage. 2:37 to play. Actually, we played 2:37, and Canada is trailing 3-2.
Darren Fleury went down hoping to draw that penalty. One thing that Dave King knows that his players have got to be careful of, and that is the Soviet players like to get in behind you. And when you turn, the natural instinct, as National Hockey League players tend to do, is put the stick on the guy, try to hook him a little bit, run the interference. But that could be deadly here in this third period.
Р.Куртнолл leading the charge up there with Sackick. There's the pass. Sackick dropped it back for Craven, the trailer. Schlegel dumps it in. Back of the net now. Here's Courtnall. Yanni with a great chance, and Trefilov comes up big, and a cross-checking penalty coming up against the Soviet Union. So Canada with a scoring chance, and now a power play chance.
Zamenhof is heading to the penalty box, not without some words for Don Adam. It'll hardly change his mind, especially when Don Adam doesn't understand Zamenhof.
Trent Yanni moving up to join the attack. Almost buried it in the corner.
I'm not sure that it was a great cross-check by Zamenhof on Craven. I think Craven backed into him.
So Canada on the power play. Blake and Yanni back at the point. This is Cliff Ronning. Back of the net for Р.Куртнолл. Centers it in front. Ilya Biakin breaks it up and gets it down the ice. 1:38 to go on the power play for Team Canada. Sackick and Р.Куртнолл up front with Ronning. Here's Р.Куртнолll. In front of the net, Ronning charging in. Trefilov out to knock it away. Pressure still on, though. Sackick. Bad bounce off the boards for Courtnall.
And again, the Soviets anticipate so well. They position themselves accordingly and then just jump right in there when they think they can intercept a pass.
1:05 to go on the power play for Canada. Here comes Sackick. Jamie Macoun out there now for Team Canada. He's been hot last couple of games. Has a goal in this one. Had a pair against Team Sweden. Courtnall dropping it back. Macoun shoots. Kamensky picks up the rebound. Can't get it out. Yes, he does. Puck knocked down with a high stick in any event by Cliff Ronning, and thus the whistle with 41 seconds left in Canada's man advantage.
Cliff Ronning, when he went for the net, waiting for the pass, was trying to lean in so as to deflect the pass into the net rather than trying to get it and stop it and then try to work a play. He knew he didn't have much time. Speaking of time, there wasn't much time before that puck was dropped. I don't think Darren Fleury was quite ready for it. But he got it anyway.
And he's got it now. Larmer breaking. And Kravchuk got enough of that Larmer shot to tip it up out of play with 28 seconds left in Canada's man advantage.
Kravchuk was able to get his stick in front of Larmer's shot. Steve Larmer had said that even he was having a great deal of difficulty playing in this international type of game. That he said they tend to go wide so often, and it's a thinking man's game. Not that he can't think, but he's so used to reacting, as the NHL players do. The intensity, taking the body, being hit, getting back into the play.
15 seconds left in the power play for Canada. Darren Fleury. Up to Larmer. Jeff Courtnall breaking down the wing. He's got it now. Centers it in front. Nobody there for Canada. Mironov knocks it away. Penalized player back on. The team's at even strength. And here comes Kamensky. One-on-one. Kamensky goes to the net. Macoun was able to chop the puck away from him.
Macoun worried about taking the body, and the puck came afterwards.
Jeff Courtnall looking for Larmer. Gets all tangled up. Kasatonov giving away to Fleury in front. Yanni shoots. Trefilov to save. Here's Larmer. And play is called. The Soviet net dislodged. That's the second good scoring chance Yanni has had in this period.
But if Yanni only could go back and do that again, he would know that, well, getting the shot away on his forehand would have been far more advantageous than taking the extra second to go to his backhand. See, Yanni was in perfect scoring position back in the slot when he received that puck initially. Trying to come in too close cost him the scoring chance, at least a better one.
3-2, the Soviets lead. We played 5.5 minutes of this third period. Medal round action at the 1991 World Hockey Championship, Canada and the Soviet Union. And here come the Soviets. Lomakin cuts in front, drops it off. There's that pretty drop pass. Shot fired wide by Semак. Here's Schlegel now for Canada. Trevor Linden back out. Up there with Craven and Thomas. Thomas. Kasatonov wheeling back for the Soviet Union up to Semak. Nemchinov trailing. Semak centers it right in front of the net. Fettisov moved up from the blue line but couldn't get the shot away. Nemchinov after it. Lomakin. Steve Conroy. Dave King making some changes. Conroy will go into the corner but can't get the return pass from Natras.
Well, Conroy was trying to hang on to it a little bit longer because with the Soviets and their quick transition game, you've got to get that puck down deep before you can really make a full-scale line change.
And icing is called on Team Canada. You're watching the World Hockey Championship on TV. I'm Paul Romanuk with Gary Green, Jim Van Horn, and Tom Watt watching back at our TSN Control Center. World Hockey Championship action. Canada trailing the Soviets 3-2 early in this third period. Kozlov working along the boards, relieved of the puck. Randy Smith up to Bozak. Swings wide. Macoun going for the net. Bozak couldn't get it to him. Here's Archibald. Kozlov tied up by Randy Smith. Now he slips away. Fettisov now. Makarov. Zhamnov was cutting to the slot, but it's poked outside the line. Played 7.5 minutes of the third period. Canada down by a goal. Fettisov stopped at the line. Blake for Team Canada. Up to R.Kурtnolll. Bump there at center by Zhamnov. Makarov comes back in. Shoots just wide of the short side.
Makarov was angry at himself because he didn't find that room he thought he would have.
Zhamnov knocked down. R.Kурtnolll trying to take off. To Trent Yanni. Larmer back for Sacking. Larmer's in front. Gets a chance. Trefilov the save. Rebound in front. Sacking fires it wide. Kурtnolll back out. Yanni will just shoot it in front. Sacking fires it up back of the net. Team Canada continuing to press. Yanni after it in the corner. Here's Sacking. Can't get to it. Malahov works it around the boards. Vartanov breaks down. He's tied up. Schlegel stuck to him. Here's Sacking. Waits for his mates to catch up. The reinforcements didn't get there quickly enough. Viakin. Looking in front. Viakin can't get the shot away.
Doug Lidster stuck with his man.
Konstantinov poked away by J.Kурtnolll. Linden going for the front. Kурtnolll almost put it home. No goal.
And Trevor Linden's upset because he was being hooked all the way back into the Soviet zone. You see Trevor Linden just at the top of your screen coming into the bottom of your screen, being interfered with all the way. Trefilov made the first save, but then the question was, did the puck go in the net? No, it didn't. The net went off its moorings.
The whistles of disapproval pouring down on referee Don Adam. Icing called here on the Soviets. Many of the fans felt the net was perhaps knocked off intentionally. Well, next action for Team Canada and their final game of these 1991 World Hockey Championships coming up this Saturday, and you can see it live on TSN. Set the alarm, get up early, and join us for breakfast at 10 to 6 a.m. Eastern Time.
Never mind setting the alarm, Romy. I mean, just tell the folks to stay up. Have a good Friday night. For the folks out in Vancouver, well, they might just be coming home.
Oh, you might just be coming home at that hour. Kурtnolll a shot. Trefilov the save, and he gobbles up the rebound.
Team Canada are starting to play more like it's an NHL game out there. They're going for the net. They're challenging. Trefilov's under attack.
I don't know whether that's good or bad, though, because you don't have, with all due respect to Don Adam, an NHL referee watching over things.
You've got a lot better chance of doing it with Don Adam, though, than you do with some of the other European referees here at the World Championship.
Good point.
Look at how far Trefilov came out in order to take up his own rebound. He's been very conscientious today of making sure that he jumped on every loose puck.
Here's Valeri Kamensky in the penalty box for the Soviets. Trevor Linden is in the box for Canada, offsetting minor penalties.
That's Kamensky's third minor penalty in today's game.
Penalties coming at 9:15. Lidster tries to poke it in. Bykov back for the Soviets. Stiffed there by Conroy along the boards. Here's Lidster. Pavel Bure back to pick it up for the Soviets. Team Canada trailing 3-2 as we approach the halfway point of this third period. Bykov dishing off to Bure. Ronning back for Team Canada. J.Kурtnolll up there with him. Lidster moving up too. Yanni's the trailer. Kурtnolll back for Ronning. Couldn't get to it. Fettisov
Fettisov may have had a so-so season in the National Hockey League, but when he gets the World Championships, he dominates.
Foray a shot, but he was in there offside after Fettisov had taken the scenic route all the way around the boards and back out to center.
Pavel Bure has been the 3rd leading scorer in this World Championship tournament. As a 20-year-old, he plays for Red Army. And the Vancouver Canucks hope that someday he'll play with them. Fettisov just never looks as though he's in a very good mood at all, and we know that he does not like his head coach here, Viktor Tikhonov. That's no secret. They've been at war together for years. It's surprising that Fettisov actually comes back and plays for Tikhonov in the World Championships.
Larmer up the middle. Blake trying to get some real estate. Bouncing puck in front of the net. Trefilov didn't see it. And play is called.
I thought that puck went in initially. Obviously it didn't, but from the angle that we're at, and we're way at the other end of the rink, and the red light never comes on in this building anyway.
Blake doing a good job to outmuscle Gusarov.
Trefilov thought it was in. Where was it? Boy, I'll tell you, that puck came very close to going over that goal line.
A bounce or two for Team Canada, and this pro-Canadian crowd will have a lot more to jump up and yell about. Makarov across, and Kravchuk was offside.
And Trent Yanni was lucky because on that 2-on-2, Yanni fell, and he had to get up quickly. He'd be saying, "Oh no, I fell at the blue line, 2-on-1 against the Soviets," but he recovered quickly.
Kravchuk was the guy sitting on the bench being berated by Viktor Tikhonov after Mario Lemieux scored the winning goal of that 1987 Canada Cup. He says that was the lowest point of his young career. R.Kurtnolll with Sackick shooting, scores.
That's more like the way they do it in the NHL.
Sackick. R.Kurtnolll with his 2nd assist of the game. He's had an impact.
19. Courtnall sure has, and Dave King felt putting Courtnall with Sackick would get Sackick going. Courtnall broke into the zone, and when he fed that puck back to Sackick, watch Sackick. He just released it. Good hard shot. So often in this tournament, Paul, Sackick looked to try to get closer in before he shot the puck.
Sackick from Courtnall at 11:04. Sackick's 6th goal of the tournament. And Canada and the Soviets are tied at 3. Here comes Courtnall again. Gets it up to Sackick. Courtnall's up there with him. Back come the Soviets. Butseyev bumped at the line. Sean Burke kicks that shot away. Rebound in front. Makoun has it, trying to settle things down.
Now the pressure's on Sean Burke. He's got to come up with the big saves and give his teammates the opportunity to get another one.
Canada being outshot 21-20. R.Kurtnolll again. Across for Murray Craven.
Give Craven credit. He tried to split the defense.
Here's Craven up there forechecking. Can't come up with it. Cliff Ronning. It's opening up. And let's see what happens, because when it opens up, the Soviets can be lethal. Viakin going for the net. He's pulled down. No penalty called. Natras works it back out, and here comes Cliff Ronning. Up for Courtnall on the left wing, but he was offside. Turn up the intensity level. Just Pavel Bure clears it in for the Soviets. A 3-3 hockey game. We played 12:44 of the 3rd period. I'm Paul Romanek with Gary Green. Canada and the Soviet Union, the 1991 World Hockey Championship medal round action. A win for Team Canada. And they're one step closer to goal. Fleury in front. Linden centers it.
What a chance for J.Kуртнолл. He fanned and missed.
Back come the Soviets. Bure along the boards trying to get it loose. It's really opened up the last couple of minutes. Kamensky back to pick it up for the Soviets.
But you know, Canada haven't opened it up in the neutral zone. They've still been making sure that they've been able to lock the middle.
Fleury up there with Thomas and Larmer. Kravchuk breaks it up there in front. Kamensky back out for the Soviet Union. Nemchinov. This fires it in. Burke out of his net to play it out of harm's way. Lomakin is up there looking forward along the boards. He's given a pop. Yanni being watched by Lomakin. Six minutes to play. Canada and the Soviets tied at 3. Here's Schlegel. Under pressure, Semak up there to pick it up. Lomakin in front along with Nemchinov. Kravchuk a shot. Rebound in front. Thomas there to the rescue. Up to Fleury. Back with Larmer. Here's Larmer. Here come the Soviets back. Nemchinov. Makoun bumps him. Loose puck in front. Kozlov almost tipped it off a leg. Was lurking in the weeds and just came slipping in, cutting in front of that Canadian goal. Rick Natras now for Jamie Makoun. Here comes Natras. Makarov. Back for the Soviets. Hits the line. Top of the slot. Gets some help. Just fired wide by Kozlov. 5 minutes left. Tie hockey game, 3-3. Kozlov wheels it in. Makarov going for the net. Kozlov couldn't quite pick his way through the traffic. Craven comes back now with Sackick. Р.Куртнолл's trailing. Sackick. Can't get it to Куртнолл. Zhamnov for the Soviets up along the boards. Р.Куртнолл up there trying to break it up. Can't land the shot on goal. Here's Rob Blake. Pinched well up from the blue line. Steve Conroy now moving up, trying to keep the drive alive. Gets it back in the net. Sackick couldn't get to it. Here's Blake moving up there. In for Sackick. Tied up along the boards by Kasatonov. Trefilov just tips it to the boards. Conroy charging up there again. The Canadian defense really helping out.
Well, they're pinching, Paul, because a tie really is no good to Canada. Not if they still have hope of winning a goal.
Blake steps in. Ronning going for the net. There's the pass. Running a shot, and Trefilov with the save of the game for him. J.Kуртнолл after it. Shoots from the bad angle. That's blocked. Lomakin back now for the Soviets. Kind of pushes one weak and wide. Here's Bure up there. Kamensky now down on the corner. J.Kуртнолll with Bykov watching him. Cliff Ronning picks it up to Linden. Up there with Kуртнолll, centers it, it's picked off. Blake battling back there with Bure, no penalty on the play. Here's Lidster. Can't get it out. Mironov's up there. Linden will try his luck. 3 minutes to go. Team Canada and the Soviets tied at 3. Canada needs a win to have a realistic shot at the goal. Bykov back in the net. He's knocked down. Bure moves up, trying to steal it from Sackick. Sackick under pressure. Bure like a buzzsaw up there watching him. Lidster up for Sackick. Canada making changes, and Sackick can't buy enough time to wait for the troops to come over the hill. Semak. Just bouncing it in. Sean Burke corrals that like a good shortstop on the one hopper. Semak bumped along the boards, couldn't get to it.
And what do you do if you're Dave King and it comes down to the last minute of play and it's still tied? Does he take the goaltender out and go for the cold?
R.Kурtnolll clears it in. 2 minutes left. 3-3 hockey game. Smoked in on goal by Konstantinov. Sacik works it up. He's up there with Larmer and Thomas. Soviets come back. Here's Theron Fleury for Team Canada. 1.5 minutes to go. 3-3 hockey game. Kravchuk for the Soviets just gets it down the ice.
See, if Canada were to tie today, then they would have 2 points. Sweden and the USSR 3. They would have to hope then that they could beat the US and Sweden and the Soviets were to tie. I think that's a pretty big if.
Fleury, Thomas, Larmer, Yanni, and Lidster out there for Canada. Here's Thomas up to forecheck. 1 minute to go in the hockey game. A 3-3 tie. Fettisov moves it up around the boards. Bure. Still loose. Walks in. Bure shooting. Burke the save. Loose in front. And he can't get the rebound.
Canada needed a quick breakout right at about that time, but they also needed a rest. They had to make a line change.
30 seconds left in the hockey game. Macoun clearing it in. Here's Fettisov being watched by Courtnall. Linden's up there too. 20 seconds left. Ronning can't keep it in. And the Soviets will get the chance. Nemchinov drops it off. Bykov shoots. Burke the save, and he smothers the rebound with 9 seconds left. Who've popped in to join us for the last 9 seconds of this hockey game. It's been a great one. Bykov scoring for the Soviets in the first period. Craven for Canada to tie it at 1. In the second period, Macoun put Canada up 2-1. The Soviets came back with goals from Kamensky and Semак. Canada tying it up at 11:04 of this third period. Joe Sacik got the goal from R.Kурtnolll. R.Kурtnolll has had 2 assists for Team Canada in this game. Obviously, a tie better than a loss for Team Canada. It would keep gold medal hopes slightly alive. Canada would have to win its final game against the U.S. on Saturday. You can see that game live on TSN starting at 10 to 6 in the morning Eastern time. And then they would have to hope that the Soviets and the Swedes tied. 5 seconds left. And Canada with a well-earned tie against a powerful Soviet team. 3-3. Final shots on goal, 28-22 in favor of the Soviets. But a gutsy performance by Dave King and this Canadian team. One more game to go in the medal round, and Canada's gold medal hopes.
Congratulations underway in Turku, Finland, as Team Canada and the Soviet Union battle to a well-earned 3-3 tie for the Canadians. A goal in